Welcome back in, listeners. It's Sunday in South Carolina. Welcome to the Touchdowns Podcast, presented by Cross Country Morgan's Harrison Williamson. I'm not going to do his spiel because I can't remember it, and I can't pull up my phone. We won. Hey, Thomas, what's up? It's the first time we've had a victory podcast on Sunday in how many weeks and months? I mean, it's been since Kentucky.
Yeah, it's been
So
since
that was end of
since
September.
That
So
was
that's
also the first time that we have not played a team ranked in the top 15 since September. So that's probably correlated.
I don't think it's correlated because all those teams fucking suck, and so I just got through telling Ross that. So I just think we just have shit the bed this season, but I have no complaints about what happened yesterday in Columbia. We beat Coastal Carolina 51-7. I don't care whatever people want to complain about. The only two things maybe that they will is the 2-point conversion on the the second touchdown, and we didn't get it, and then the blocked punt that allowed Coastal Carolina to get a touchdown, and that sucks for the defense that we weren't able to post a shutout. But I have no complaints, don't care. 51-7. That is what you're supposed to do against a team like Coastal. We had Mike Yuva on, and he said some things about Coastal, and they have a lot of things that they're playing for, and they have a lot of good players, and they do. And they might go and upset James Madison and shake up the college football playoff world next week. But for this week, this was a team that was focused, and the job at hand was beating the shit out of Coastal Carolina, and that is what we did. So I have no complaints. I am very happy. Like I said, it is the first Victory Sunday podcast we have done since September. It's been a long fucking season, so I have zero complaints. Thomas, what did you think about the game?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm very pleased that we came out and took care of business right from the start. But I said this in the preview episode. We're not bowl eligible. Beating Coastal in the fashion that we beat them, or even if we had beat them worse, it's not going to get the people that are upset with Beamer back on board. I'm glad that we had a fun game, got a lot of people involved, didn't have to sweat it for a second. I'm glad we were able to rest Dylan and Nick. I did have a little bit of panic when I saw Dylan on the sidelines to start the game without shoulder pads on, because I didn't realize that he was not dressing. But it has been reported that there's no drama involved with that. It's as simple as he's just been kind of battling being banged up for this tough stretch of the season, and we're getting him rested and recovered, ready for next week, which I believe is smart. It all comes down to the Clemson game as far as like how this season will be remembered. Even if we beat them, it'll still be considered to be a disappointing season. But something that I've said, in a couple of the group chats that I'm in with some buddies, is that winning the Clemson game counts as 3 wins. And I think losing the Clemson game counts as 2 in terms of just how it feels. So we're 4-7. If we beat Clemson, it's going to feel like we went 7-7 this year, which is still disappointing given what the expectations were coming into the season. But if we lose that game, we finish 4-9. I think that anybody that has any faith in Beamer will pretty much, it'll dry up, and it'll kind of just be that awkward limbo of when do we fire him? So a lot riding on this game, a lot riding on how do we navigate the off season? Who are we able to get to come back? I think that if we win this game and we keep the core of this team together and finish this this high school recruiting class strong and attack the portal, everything that we wanted from this season could still be on the table next year. So yeah, it all comes down to this coming matchup.
Say that one more time. Just read that last sentence back.
It all comes down to Clemson.
Oh yeah, I'm with you there. I completely agree. And again, a 51-7 win against Coastal Carolina isn't going to erase the pain and misery that was this season. But you have to, in my opinion, you have to just think that's what we were supposed to do. Like, I just can't have a negative thought about yesterday. And I know people like I said, people will nitpick about like, just fucking celebrate that we won 51-7 and we should have beat the hell out of that team, and we did. And a lot of people were nervous that we wouldn't beat the hell out of that team yesterday. So let's just celebrate the fact that we won, and we won big, and we won how we were supposed to win, because we didn't do that against like a South Carolina State earlier in the year. And so let's just celebrate the small wins. And like you said, it comes down to this week. And this week is rivalry week. It's the best week of the year. And for us long life Gamecock fans, this week matters more than, I mean, like you said, it's 3 wins. Or it's 2 losses, like however you want to quantify it.
That's how
it matters more.
Yeah,
it matters more, and especially in today's day and age where conference championships are going to the win. Like, Georgia is number 4 in the country. They don't even want to go to the SEC championship this year. They are begging not to go to the SEC championship this year, so they can be better positioned for the playoff. And to me, that is sad, but it is the current state of college football. There is less value on conference championships. All that matters is where you are at the end of the season. Can you get into the 12-team playoff? And in a position like ours, all that matters is a rivalry week. And same thing for Clemson. That's the thing. They have nothing to play for either. Yes, they're going to a bowl game. They don't give a shit.
Well, I have already seen.
They don't give a shit.
They've already started. I think
they're starting that so that they just as they did last year when we beat them and they made it to the playoff, which is, I guess, that's better than just a measly bowl game. But last year, they tried to play off the L. Oh, we made the playoff. Who cares? We have bigger things going on than beating South Carolina. They don't. They're losers. They simply don't have anything better to do this year. And if they tell you otherwise, they're just fucking lying. They're just setting themselves up for when we beat them and we are not going bowling and they are playing in the fucking Wipe My Ass Bowl. Dude Wipes. Do they sponsor one yet? I mean, when they play in the Doo-Doo Bowl, they're just setting themselves up for that little, just consolation prize. But no, all that matters for both of these teams is this game this week. And if their fan base doesn't want to believe that, then they're just delusional and they're just looking for an excuse. But it comes down to this week. That's what makes it great. That's what makes this great, because we are 2 teams in college football that have nothing to play for other than beating each other. It's beautiful.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I think that the fact that they're already kind of, throwing out the we're not bowl eligible narrative shows a little fear on their part. they're already kind of giving themselves like the talking point that they're going to use when we beat them, which, you know, I'm sure that is exactly what my Clemson friends will say when we beat them is, you know, you're home for Christmas or whatever. But them playing in the Independence Bowl in Shreveport or wherever they end up going, I don't think is enough to really get the bad taste out of their mouth of losing to us, especially with it being back to back. I'm very actually. I would love to get your thoughts on this. The early line on DraftKings last week had them favored by 5.5 points, and we are now a 2.5 point favorite. I know that they lost an offensive lineman for the season because he got hurt while he was celebrating the Louisville win. Apparently, they lost another offensive lineman and
in
a
the
tight
actual
end
game versus Louisville.
and a tight
In
end
the
against
actual game
Furman.
versus Louisville, yeah.
So they're pretty banged up. I was texting with a Clemson buddy of mine today, and you know his morale was kind of low. Like he's not someone that typically talks a lot of trash to me pre-game. He will chirp me when they beat us, but I think that this is about as humble as Clemson fans have been in a long time coming to Columbia. So, but that's not going to stop me from getting in their ass when we do win.
Here's the thing. I mean, I took.
They think that they can protect themselves from me by not being obnoxious, but they can't. They can't.
I mean, here's the thing. I took Carolina plus 5.5 at the beginning of the season, early line. So that was before we realized Clemson sucked, and maybe we sucked a little bit too. But like, that was just the preseason expectations. The line was plus 5.5, and I was like, I'm willing to take that. So I took that, but I am doubling down, tripling down. I don't care that it's minus 2.5. We are the better team. We are the better team. We have the better quarterback. I don't care about all the numbers with Lenoris. I've had my Clemson buddies in my ear talking about how Lenoris sucks. And cool. You think he sucks and you think Cade's better, that's fine. Cade is not better, and it's just facts. I mean, the man is so bad against Power 4 teams. I mean, you don't even have to, even when Clemson was winning and were good before this year, before this 6-5 trash year, that probably literally the worst year that Clemson's had in 15 years. I mean, even when we used to beat the shit out of them on the 5-year streak, they at least had Taj Boyd who cleaned up against ACC bullshit. Like, they at least had that. Like, they at least won a couple ACC titles when we were beating their ass back then. But this is the worst year they've had in a while. Cade is not good. I don't care what people say about his numbers versus Lenoris. Lenoris is better than Cade by far. And we're at home, and we haven't won there in since 2013, which is crazy. But you just have to look at our team and the overall shape of our team. Clemson was supposed to be able to hang their hat on defense. They have not been good on defense. And I know our offense hasn't been good, but we've been able to at least find something post Mike Shula. I know we played Coastal Carolina yesterday, but we did some things, but we did some things against A&M. We didn't do anything in the second half, but I think A&M's defense is better than Clemson. I mean, Clemson's defense is not good. Their two best players on defense, Peter Woods and TJ Parker, have underperformed. And yes, they're still good players. I'm not going to take anything away from them, but do I think we can't exploit them? I think we can. I mean, I think we did it last year. I think last year should have been a more dominating defeat. We had 3 turnovers in the red zone last year. Like, we literally put pressure. We put the pressure on their defense, and I think that was a better version of the Clemson defense than this year's. And we didn't perform in the red zone, so just go into this game and if we don't make mistakes, I think we will score on this team. We have mismatches against this defense, and their offense does not scare me whatsoever. I mean, last year, what they did, and we begged them to, and they hit some plays. Don't get me wrong. If you look back, I remember watching it, but if you look back, we were just doing we were begging them to beat us one-on-one outside, and they did. They made a couple crazy plays, one of which was a tip pass. They got a 30-yarder on a tip pass, but a lot of it was just them going to the outside and winning, but they didn't win enough. They only scored 14 points. Like, you can't go to that. And I think that's why Clayton White was begging them to just beat us outside. We're going to leave you one-on-one. And they did beat us a couple times, but over the course of a game, they're not going to beat us. I love Cisse. I love Judge. I love Vakari. I love our DBs versus their wide receivers. I don't think they're wide. We got drop McFumble. We got TJ Moore. I don't love their receiving core. Bryant Wesco's hurt. Their receivers do not scare me. We can get these guys. We can get these guys in one-on-ones, and our D-line is way better than their offensive line. And you said it. They got 2 injuries. Their radio guys are crying because, oh my God, it just ain't going right for Clemson because we just are celebrating this awesome win against Louisville. You're celebrating an awesome win against Louisville that they handed you the fucking game. You shouldn't have been celebrating anyway. And by best is the standard, you definitely shouldn't be celebrating beating a shitty team like Louisville. But I guess that's where y'all are in your program. Y'all are celebrating wins against Louisville, and then your offensive lineman gets hurt. Boo fucking who. We are going to feast on this offense. Where I'm concerned, we got to put up points. We got to put up points, and also, if our offense fucks us over by turning the ball over, then that gives me problems. This is setting up for 2023. Spencer throws a goddamn backwards pass the first play of the game, and they house it 7-0. They do not score an offensive touchdown the remainder of the game, and still beat us. Just don't beat yourselves, Carolina. Just don't beat yourselves. That's all. That's how I feel about this game. I think we're a better team. We have the better defense, and if we can score on them, they will not be able to beat us. Just don't beat ourselves. What do you think?
Yeah, so to touch on a couple of the points that you made, obviously, Lenoir's numbers this year are terrible, and Cade's numbers last year were better than Lenoir's last year, even though Lenoir's numbers last year were better than they are this year. But I have never believed that Cade was a better quarterback than Lenoir's. I think that Cade has always been kind of a stat patter. I think the one time that he really played well against good competition was against Texas last year in the playoff game, and they still lost by
fucking 20.
And they still lost by 2 touchdowns and didn't cover. He's never really been the guy in the biggest moments. Most of his kind of highlight reel, he had the walk-off touchdown run against Pitt last year, but it's Pitt. And Pitt was not good last year. So yeah, I don't fear Cade. I do think their receivers are good. And, you know, but to echo your point, I love our DBs, and I do think that we have the ability to match up with
I didn't
them.
even mention Jalen Kilgore. Excuse me, Jalen. I'm sorry.
I do believe
he's our best one.
I do believe we'll be able to play a lot of man against them. I think that their O-line would have struggled to block us even if they were completely healthy. But the fact that we are not, or that they are not, like, you know, we should dominate that matchup. I think if I had to give them any flowers, from what I have seen this year, Adam Randall has really kind of become a serviceable running back. He's made explosive plays for them when they've really needed it. So we just gotta keep him contained. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to move the ball well on us. And even though we have done more in the past 2 weeks between the first half against A&M and the Coastal game on offense, I do worry about our ability to score the football still. So yeah, I do think that if I had to guess, the game is going to look like it looked the last time it was in Columbia, and we really need to make sure that this time around we don't bail them out. We don't give their offense anything easy. I think the team that takes care of the football and wins the turnover margin is going to be setting themselves up really well to win this game. But I do think that we're the better team. And I hope that, you know, I hope our offensive line plays well. I think that the parts of their defense that we can exploit is just Wade Woodaz in every aspect. He's just not a player
He's dog shit.
He's not athletically good enough to be on the field. I don't know why he's still.
Well, they got Jake Venables or Wade Woodaz. I mean,
yeah.
they.
So I don't know.
They recruited their coach's sons
like,
for
he is someone that we need to scheme to expose. I mean, Lenoris made him look silly a couple different times last year. I think our running backs in space are going to win that matchup. So yeah, you know.
But that's the thing, T. That's the thing. Can we devise a plan? Can we devise a plan that takes, like, because whether they've shown it or not this year, Peter Woods and TJ Parker are good players because they showed it last year. I mean, they have enough film that they're good players, and I don't doubt that they can exploit our fucking shitty offensive line. So, can we devise a plan that eliminates what they're? Yes, let's get. It doesn't matter if it's Rasul, Oscar, Juwan Howell, Matthew Fuller. All of those guys should be able to outmatch Wade Woodaz in space. Can we get those guys in space? Everyone was claiming Avion Terrell was a first-round pick before the season, and he still is maybe pretty high on draft boards. I don't think he is that good. I don't think they have really anyone in the secondary that, I mean, even if you just watch last year, I mean, they can't guard Nick.
Mm-hmm.
They're scared to guard Nick. Like, they're not going to press Nick.
Mm-hmm.
You got, if the offensive line can hold up, you can run the damn comeback to Nick when you need a play. Just throw that comeback to Nick. Just let him run 10 yards. They're scared of him going over the top. And I mean, we didn't do much. Like Lenoris was really kind of a Superman last year against this defense. And
well, I think their defense was playing much better last year than they're playing this year.
They definitely were playing better last year than this year.
You know, which is so,
offense was playing a lot worse.
Right. Which it's so ironic because the scapegoat of last year's game and last year's season for Clemson fans was Wes Goodwin, which I've brought up at every opportunity that I could. Like anytime that I've trolled this season in Clemson's direction, it has just kind of been
let Wes cook.
Like the fact that they blamed all of the failings of last year on him. They bring in Tom Allen and the defense gets worse. And, part of that it could be moving from the Venables scheme to a more traditional 4-3, and they just don't have the players to fit what Tom Allen wants to do. But I think he's kind of low-key said, yeah, y'all don't really have as good of players as y'all thought y'all did. That's why my system isn't working, because y'all are fucking giving me Wade Woodaz and he can't fucking run. So yeah, and they definitely have defensive line players that are not playing the way that they're supposed to be playing in Peter Woods and TJ Parker. And I've poked fun at that too. Dabo loves his little gimmicky put Peter Woods in at fullback package, and he fumbles twice against Louisville, and I was giving Spence hell because Peter Woods has as many fumbles this year as he has sacks. So yeah, they've definitely been underwhelmed. Like I think the biggest travesties of this season and how we've been playing is like I could have been destroying my Clemson friends all year. Like if we were even 9-3, not even necessarily a playoff team, but if we were just as good as we were last year, I could be raining hellfire on Clemson fans right now. But we're kind of just as bad. But yeah, if we win the head-to-head, then the floodgates are open, and there is no safety for them then.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing too, is like obviously we gotta beat them, but yeah, I hadn't been able to. I mean, to your point, yes, it's a rivalry. It's a nonstop shit talk.
Well, it's like
but it's been quiet this year just because we're so bad.
Yeah, I've had so much material that I could be trolling with in terms of what is happening to them, but we have not performed well enough for me to be able to take advantage of that. And I still do talk shit to them when bad things happen to them, but oftentimes we end up losing as well. And that takes a lot of fire out of my, a lot of wind out of my trolling sails gets taken away when we blow a 27-point lead.
No, 100%. And like I said, they're talking shit about Lenoris, and I'm like, fuck, well, goddamn, I would say he's a beast, but then he just misses a wide open receiver, and we lose. We had this is Victory Sunday, and it's the first one we've had in 2 months. So no, it's going to be very interesting. But I think with this Clemson game, like I said, fuck them if they say they have anything else to play for. This season comes down to this, and that's you almost how I wish it was we were both good enough to where us winning this game would put us in the playoff and would put them out of the playoff.
Right.
That would be that's the dream scenario. You almost look at, and then Auburn, Alabama has half of that. Auburn has nothing to play for, but they could ruin Bama's season.
Right.
Then you have Michigan, Ohio State, where Michigan potentially, if they win against Ohio State, they could elevate into the playoff. Unfortunately, Ohio State, they really have nothing to it's just all these rivalry games across the country.
I mean, yeah, Ohio State losing to Michigan won't affect their playoff bid, but Ryan Day is going to. Ryan Day needs that game. Ryan Day needs to be.
I mean, he does need that game, but see, that's what people don't get about
people that can't understand that. Just don't understand college football, and
that's what I'm saying.
Who he has been bemoaning that the regular season doesn't matter anymore since the inception of even the 4-team playoff. But I'm like, Nate, people that are fans of teams care about every game, and especially Ohio State fan. I bet there are still Ohio State fans coming off of last year's national championship that can't get the fact that they haven't beat Michigan in 4 years out of their head. Which,
no. Hey, I'm sick to my stomach. I can't win a national championship if I don't beat Clemson that season.
If the first time we win a national championship, we do not also beat them that year, it will really ruin it for me.
No, that's the thing. That's the difference between, and that's what I try and tell all my buddies, and I respect them because obviously they're rooting for their alma mater. But all my buddies that didn't grow up in South Carolina, that are obviously South Carolina fans now because they went to South Carolina, much respect to you. But I can't win a national championship if I don't beat Clemson. If I'm an Ohio State fan that grew up an Ohio State fan, if you truly hate Michigan, you cannot be happy with last season. And right. You won a national championship. And that's why Ryan Day is still not getting – I mean, the motherfucker won a national championship, and he still just has a piece of the fan base that just doesn't like him. And it's because you have to beat your rival.
Right. I don't think he's on the hot seat, but I think that this narrative that, Ohio State is 11-0 and – they're going to be in the Big Ten championship, win or lose, and they're going to be in the playoff, win or lose, takes the pressure or the meaning out of the Michigan game.
He's got to beat Michigan.
Absolutely false. If anything, I think it means more this year than it's meant in a long time because it's the last box he needs to check. I mean, he's already won a national championship, but now he has to beat Michigan.
That's what I'm saying, though, but that's what separates – I swear to God, it's what separates college sports from any other sport in the entire universe. This man literally won, quote-unquote, the national champion. He won the pinnacle of the sport. He won what he's supposed to win, but he didn't beat the rival, and he's still –
prior to that – when they lost that game, Ohio State was in the playoffs last year. But when they lost that game, he hired private security because he was getting death threats and his family was being threatened. It's insane. That's what
I'm saying. There ain't nothing like it.
That's not okay. I'm not saying that, I wouldn't do that. I might leave a fucking flaming bag of dog poop on Beamer's doorstep if we lose to Clemson this year, but I'm not going to threaten his life or his family. But yes, this game matter. We could both come in, 0-11, and this game will always matter, and it will. If we win this game, it changes the legacy of this year's team. The seniors that do not
straight up.
Seniors that can't come back next year, they're not going to a bowl game. They didn't make the playoff. But if we beat Clemson, they go out on a 2-game winning streak. They're the first team to beat Clemson in Columbia since 2013. That is part of their legacy. And Clemson fans might laugh at that or try and turn up their nose at that and say, how sad is it that a team can be remembered for something like that? Well, I know it bothers them. I know, the reason they elevated their program in the first place is because the streak that we had on them back then made their boosters so insane and beside themselves that they finally just ponied up and gave Dabo the resources that he needed to win. They weren't trying to even win a national championship. That was a happy accident. The elevation of Clemson came from the fucking need to stop losing to us. And, they fucked around and had a mini dynasty. But, I know that it bothers them. And
well, I mean, hey,
I won't
this
let
is what
them...
hey, this is what I'm saying, and I say it to my buddies, and you want to. This is maybe a different topic, and I don't want to go on a tangent around what we're talking about with the Clemson game, but if you look at Muschamp and Beamer, they're pretty similar. Beamer actually has a worse record against SEC opponents than Muschamp.
Yes.
But what I will say, Muschamp had really zero quality wins. I mean, he beat Tennessee. He beat Tennessee that year. Like what Beamer's done that is different than Muschamp, which I try and stress to the motherfuckers. Yes, Muschamp beat Georgia. He beat Georgia in Athens. I was at that game. That was awesome. And that's fine. But Muschamp had 3 ranked wins in 5 seasons. 3 ranked wins in 5 seasons, and he never beat Clemson. You just can't do that. Like, he's 0-5, and he's getting not even getting beat by Clemson. Getting demolished by Clemson. 63-17 used to be like the thing. Like, that was the thing. Like, it was so embarrassing that we lost 63-17. I mean, I remember we had to go to Williamsburg for Thanksgiving, Thomas, and that was the first game we ever left early.
Yep.
Like, in 2003, when we lost 63-17, that was the first game we had ever left early as kids, where we had not stayed till the end of the fourth quarter when the clock hit 0. We left early. We had to go to Williamsburg for fucking Thanksgiving, and our parents are fucking happy to leave early because they didn't have to get to Williamsburg at 4 a.m. They got there at 2 a.m. instead, like, because we were getting our ass whooped so bad. Like, and that was the thing. But, like, literally, Muschamp lost by more points than 63-17. I mean, 56-7. I was there. By the way, let the record show, I have never missed a Clemson-Carolina game in this century other than the push-off in 2000, which I remember exactly where I was in that game, too. I was getting babysat by Miss Mary Helen. Shout out Miss Mary Helen on Tallulah, and I got to watch the fucking push-off live, and it was bullshit. But I haven't missed a game in person this century, and I remembered the 63-17, and I definitely remember being in the stadium when Muschamp got fucking dog-walked 56-7. Jamarcus King getting carried by Mike Williams. Like, these are, you want to talk about embarrassing losses? That's embarrassing. That sucks. That sucks way more than, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, recency bias, but the A&M game, historic L, and that game hurt way less than than that 56-7 loss. Like, it's just different. Like, this game matters so much more than all the other games, and I don't care who wants to say that it doesn't, but especially now, in the era that we're in, it only means more because SEC championships mean less until they change college football. It doesn't mean shit to win the SEC. Georgia is literally begging not to go to the SEC championship right now. Like, I think that's sad because conference championships used to mean a lot more than they do, but now they don't. Like I said, like, Oregon is sitting pretty Oregon is so happy because they're just like, hell yeah, we lost to Indiana. We didn't have to play Ohio State. And now we're going to make the playoff, and we just get a bye week and a home game. And Indiana and Ohio State got to go play the Big Ten championship. Like, Georgia's begging not to get into the SEC championship.
Hey, Beck, you know what would maybe make teams want to play in their conference championships more? If earning the first round bye mattered more, because you didn't get to play a fucking G5 fucking loser team in the first round. If it was the best 12 teams and getting to opt out of the first round of the playoff actually helped you make it to the quarterfinals or semifinals, then teams might care about winning their conferences more, because having the top 4 seed and a bye would actually be beneficial, because because the 5 through 8 teams wouldn't have a fucking cupcake first round matchup, pussy ass G5 layup in the first round.
Anne-Marie just got mad at me
How
for
about
saying
that?
the P word. Anne-Marie just got mad at me for saying the P word. But hey, how about this? How about this, dumbass? How about this, dumbass? The number one seed last year. The number one seed in the country last year lost by 6 to the 8th seed. So I don't give a shit about your.
That's because they didn't reseed it last year. That has been corrected. That was a problem that needed to be addressed, and it has been.
So Oregon's the number one team. They can't beat Ohio State. No, they got beat by 50. They're the number one team in the country.
I'm saying they shouldn't have played Ohio State in the second round. It should have been reseeded.
They're the number one team. Why is any team getting blown out? If you're getting the best teams in, it should always be a close matchup because the best teams are playing. No, you. You're dumb. You're dumb.
Oregon really did get kind of screwed over by that whole situation.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. The best teams.
Do you think that Ohio State would have been the 8th seed if Boise State hadn't been auto-bidded into the 3 seed?
I don't know. I mean,
they wouldn't have been. That's what I'm saying. Because Boise State got rammed into the 3 spot and had a bye, that threw off all the rest of the numbers. If it was the top teams, why is there a blowout? Why is there a blowout? Each round, it's a more accurate. It would actually make team 1 through 4 matter. It would be an easier path if it was 1 through 4 plays the easiest remaining team, like in the NFL. For example, when there's an upset in the wild card round and the divisional round, who gets to play the lowest seeded team? The 1 seed. That is how it's going to be in the college football playoff.
So now you want the NFL. Now you want the NFL model.
I want that aspect of it. I'm
fine with reseeding, but like, dude, wait, why are we getting upset about the group of 5 when Tennessee got blown out by 50 by Ohio State in the first round? And that's the only reason they were playing Oregon.
The point you were trying to make about Oregon getting upset by Ohio State as the 8th seed was not the full picture, because Ohio State would not have been the 8th seed if Boise State was not the 3 seed. The fact that Boise State automatically got to be in the top 4 because they were one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions.
Right.
Threw off the order of 5 through 12. What I'm saying is, if it was the top 12 that were taken, there were no auto bids, then it would actually benefit teams to win their conference and be in the top 4 and receive that first round bye, because 5 through 8 wouldn't be playing layups. 9 through 12.
Yeah.
And even if there was a team that snuck in, the top 4 teams would get to play those teams when there was an upset, and their path would be easier. That is the point
guess what?
I was trying to make.
Yes, and Thomas, guess what? Maybe Ohio State wouldn't have been playing Oregon if they didn't get a layup against a shitty Tennessee team. Maybe if we let in a Group of 5 champion, they would have put up a better fight against Ohio State in the first round, and maybe would have beat Ohio State.
Well, no one was beating.
We're not mad. We're not upset that a shitty Tennessee team got in and just gave fucking Ohio State a cakewalk.
No one was beating Ohio State last year. That is certainly not a Group of 5 team. You know why? Because a Group of 5 team wasn't.
Boise State's better than Tennessee last year.
They lost to Penn State. Oh, you're an idiot.
Dude, you're complaining about Oregon having to play Ohio State. If Ohio State had to play a decent team, not a shitty Tennessee team, then maybe Ohio State would have lost in the first round. But they got to fucking play Tennessee, who was the 5th best team in the SEC.
They were probably lower than that last year, to be honest.
Huh? What? Come again?
Think we were better. I think we were better than Tennessee last year. I know that we were 9-3 and they were 10-2, but
yeah, no shit, we were better than Tennessee, but we didn't get in. And no shit, we were better than Tennessee, and 3 SEC teams didn't get in, but Tennessee did. They're shit. They were shit, and that's why they got fucking.
But Boise State and SMU got in. That seems right.
Boise State won their first round game.
They got a bye, dumbass. They were the 3 seed. They got bounced immedially. You're an idiot.
Edit that out, Ross.
No, you did better. You don't edit that out. Do not edit that out.
Hey, the moral of the story is Tennessee got beat by 50 against Ohio State. Yeah. So quit fucking complaining.
Yeah,
you're complaining.
I'm glad
you're complaining about a Group of 5 getting in. You're complaining about a Group of 5 getting in. There's literally been blowouts every single year of the playoff. Like even in the 4-man playoff, even in the 14 playoff, blowouts every year. Like every single year. Like I hate people like you who complain about like, oh my God, we can't let a Group of 5 in because they're going to get blown out. Like, there's blowouts every single year.
That's never been what I've said once. I don't care about blowouts. And I don't care about letting
Group of 5 in. Why do you not want the Group of 5 to get in?
I don't.
You don't think they're good enough to compete?
No, I don't agree with the way that they get in.
They have to get in. So they have to be able to get in to have the. That's the whole point of the 12-team playoff.
But Beck, why can't they just be ranked in the top 12? Why?
Because there's bias in the rankings. There's never going to not be bias in the rankings. Missouri was ranked this week. Why is Missouri ranked this week, Thomas?
Who? What Group of 5?
Why is Missouri ranked this week and JMU is not ranked?
They're not in the top 25?
They were not ranked in the top 25 this week. JMU.
Well, I don't really know.
Why was Missouri ranked and JMU wasn't? Tell me that.
I don't know very much about JMU, but
you expect a Group of 5 team to get ranked? They literally can't. But
why can't they? Because they don't play anybody.
Because we're ranking Tennessee and Missouri.
They don't play anyone. What's their best win, Beck? Actually, I won't ask you. I'll pull up the schedule.
Best win. Name Missouri's best win.
I'll pull up Missouri's schedule afterwards.
Oh! Fucking crazy. You're really about to fucking rest your laurels on fucking big game drink. Big game drink, bro. I'm about to read you Missouri's wins.
Oh yeah, you look up Missouri, I'll look up JMU.
Okay. Let's go through it. Let's go through it and see who should be ranked and who shouldn't. Yeah, 4-7 South Carolina might be the best win for Missouri. All right, let's see it. Let's see it, buddy.
All right, good. Yeah. Let's attack this. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Central Arkansas, Kansas, Lafayette, Raging Cajuns. Shout out the Raging Cajuns. Also, shout out Cajun Cousins.
Kansas is a Power 4 team, right?
Yes.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, they're a bad Power 4 team. South Carolina, UMass, Auburn, Mississippi State.
Auburn's a Power 4 team, right?
Yes.
Mississippi State's a Power 4 team, right?
Yes.
Okay, keep going.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done reading their wins.
Okay, JMU.
Really impressive.
JMU's wins. Weber, WEB, Liberty, Georgia Southern, Georgia State, Lafayette, Old Dominion, Texas State, Marshall, App State, Washington State. They played one Power 4 team, Louisville, and they lost by 2 touchdowns. What's Louisville's record, Beck? Is Louisville better than Missouri?
Louisville is better than every team Missouri's beat.
Is Louisville better than Missouri?
Missouri has not beaten a team with a winning record.
So you would say that Louisville is better than Missouri?
Yes. 100%. Yes. Louisville beat Miami. And they suck. Like, Louisville sucks, but they beat Miami.
Louisville sucks?
I mean, they do, but they
Well, they beat James Madison by 2 touchdowns.
Okay, yes, they beat
Why
James.
should James Madison be ranked or in the playoff?
Why should Missouri be ranked?
They shouldn't.
But they are. That's what I'm saying.
So
You're
your
asking
argument
a group of 5 to be ranked, and they can't be ranked.
So your argument that there are teams that get ranked that shouldn't be ranked is a reason for teams that aren't ranked to get an automatic bid into the 12-team playoff?
No, my argument is that you're asking a group of 5 team to be ranked when they're never going to be able to be ranked when people like you rank the teams because people like you rank Missouri.
I don't know why you're fixating on first Ohio State versus Tennessee and now Missouri. I don't give a fuck about Missouri.
Was ranked in the college football playoff.
I wouldn't have Missouri ranked in the top 12. I can rank a top 12, and guess what? No group of 5 team would be in the top 12, and that's because they don't play any ranked teams. They don't play any good teams. Not ranked. They don't play any good teams. They haven't beat anybody that's good. They played one top 50 team and lost by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, played one top 50 team. Look at
all right, now I gotta look at fucking Ohio State schedule. I mean,
look at Ohio State schedule. They have played Texas, who is dog shit. That's their best win.
Texas is a good win.
It's the first week of the season, and that's the toughest game they played the entire season. So why does it not matter when Ohio State plays dog shit schedules?
Because their schedule's still more difficult than any group of 5 school.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, let's talk coaching carousel. We're kind of.
No, I mean dude, it's very clearly just it's bias. If you don't want, like, the group of 5 has a place at this table. That's what the expansion was about. Was the group of 5 having a place at this table? So I'm just asking you. to get the fuck over it.
The expansion was about TV stuff. It was they threw the group of 5 a bone. I'm saying we should take the bone away.
They expanded the playoff, and they added in a stipulation about the group of 5. And it was part of the expansion. That is not arguable.
Right, dude, I'm arguing that it should be removed.
Right, and yes.
Ohio State beat Illinois.
You'd rather fucking Vanderbilt get in this year. I'm going to be sick to my stomach. I'm going to be sick to my stomach if Vanderbilt makes the playoff.
I would rather Vanderbilt get in over fucking James Madison.
I would not. I would be sick to my stomach.
Why?
Vanderbilt sucks.
Why?
Vanderbilt sucks.
Hey, Vanderbilt sucks. What makes James Madison good? What makes James Madison good?
What makes Vanderbilt deserve to get in the playoff more than James Madison? The fact that they're the 5th best team in their conference? The fact that they lost every good team they played?
They've beat better teams than James Madison. James Madison hasn't beat any good teams. Vanderbilt has beat.
So we have 2 teams. So we have 2 teams that haven't beat any good teams.
We would literally go 12-0. We would literally go 12-0 with James Madison's schedule, and both Missouri and Vanderbilt beat us. And Ohio State beat Washington, and they beat Illinois. Those are better than
Washington and Illinois.
That's
goddamn, like. Dude, that's
better than anyone on James Madison's schedule.
Thomas, if James Madison played Ohio State's schedule and went 12-0 or 11-1, they would be ranked 20th.
But I'm saying I don't think that they would go 11-1 with Ohio State's schedule. That's my point. Lane Kiffin is looking more and more likely like he's heading to LSU, which that would be a massive...
I don't give a fuck. There's nothing concrete. Why are we even talking about it? There's nothing concrete.
All right, then we can talk about the fact that Norvell...
Norvell staying? He's not getting fired? Who cares?
That matters.
All right, give your opinion.
All right,
coaching carousel.
I'll say this. I think that coming out of the loss to Clemson, based off what I was seeing online, I thought that he was a dead man walking. And then they turn around and lose the very following week to a very average NC State team. The fact that they have chosen to commit to him is shocking to me. And I think further illustrates just how difficult it is to navigate these massive buyouts. And I think the fact that Florida State is keeping Norvell, who I think is in a much more toxic and bad place than Beamer is here, just goes to show that this year is not the year to make the move.
Yeah, Florida State, whatever. I don't think there's any really news in the coaching carousel. Lane Kiffin's the domino. So, until Lane Kiffin either says he's leaving Ole Miss or stays at Ole Miss, then that's the only noteworthy news. I don't give a fuck that Mike Norvell's staying at Florida State.
Right.
He doesn't matter.
Does that mean that Gus Malzahn is also staying at Florida State?
I don't know, but everyone, maybe you think someone, if Norvell gets fired, maybe Malzahn comes on the market, but I just think we need to go get Bobby Petrino. Arkansas isn't going to hire him to be the head coach.
Yeah.
They put up 40 points a game and 500 yards of offense every single week, and they're still 2-9.
Yeah.
Just go get him, and Taylon Green is Shout out Cajun Cousins. I didn't even realize it was falling that whole time. We were arguing, but like, go get Bobby. Like, go get a dude. I'm like, Taylon Green is like really athletic and a playmaker, but he is so fucking dumb. Like, he makes some bad plays. Like, so if you put a guy like Bobby Petrino with Lenoris, I just feel like we could make some magic on offense. And then if we retain our, like, that's the thing about Arkansas is like they are literally 2-9 or 2-10, and they have a positive point differential.
That is crazy.
They beat the hell out of both of the teams they beat so bad that they literally just had 10 L's, and that includes a 43-point loss against Notre Dame. And they still have a positive point differential. They're just losing every game by, I mean, I know they lost to Texas by maybe like 2 touchdowns, but like they literally are just losing every game by 3 or by 6 or by 2 or by 7. Like, and it's always, they lost to A&M 45-42. They lost, like, it's never the offense. Like, they are putting up, like, I'm just like looking at it being like, why don't we just go get Bobby, pair a offensive genius with Lenoris, a quarterback who can do everything that Bobby wants him to do.
Yeah.
And maybe cut down on the like, I'm watching Arkansas against Memphis, for instance, because I bet on them. And like Taylon Green, like literally just made like 3 mistakes in the red zone.
Yeah.
And it cost them the game. I mean, they scored 40 points against Memphis. And like they could have scored 60, but he just fucked up in the red zone. Right. So I'm looking at it like, why don't you put and Bobby Petrino's been successful everywhere he's been. He just had a little boo thing on a motorcycle. Like, I mean, he just was susceptible to whatever he just fucked up. But like, why don't we go get a guy like that, pair him with Lenoris, have an offense that can hum, and then the defense, like I said, that's been the staple of the whole Beamer era. Clayton White, the one guy that we're begging to just retain and keep Sterling, keep the defensive staff, keep Dylan, keep some of these young guys on defense. And like defense is you can go get guys in the portal that fit better on defense. It's easier than on defense and offense, in my opinion. Like, you can just go get, like, we might need to go get a safety and a corner and a linebacker and a defensive tackle in the portal. Like, you can go get those guys in the portal. Like, it's hard, like, retain Lenoris, like, it's harder. I mean, we obviously maybe need to get an offensive lineman or 2 in the portal, but you hope that we have some guys step up. And like, I just think, like, I don't know, maybe throw Bobby Petrino in the offensive coordinator ring.
I mean, I would like that simply from the standpoint that he is not known as an NFL guy, and he would satisfy the portion of the fan base that just want a name that they recognize. You know, I think the biggest issue with the Dow Loggins hire is that people just didn't know who he was, and a casual fan like doesn't understand that move. Like, the name that offseason that everybody wanted was Garrett Riley. And I remember when Clemson got him, you know, they were very excited and you know, chirping us and belittling our hire of Dowell. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is whoever we hire next can fucking call plays and our offense will be good. But in terms of making a hire that will just get the positive vibes flowing and people off of Beamer's ass a little bit, if it's a name that people recognize and know and can be excited about before we snap the ball, that is a good thing to take care of in the hiring process, and I think Petrino satisfies that. I'd be curious to know like how interested he is in remaining as just an OC. I know he wanted the head coaching job at Arkansas. Now that it's clear that he's I know that. Now that it's clear that he's not getting that, is he going to pursue a head coaching job elsewhere, similar to how, like, I'm sure Dan Mullen could have been the OC several places in the last 4 years, and he chose to wait and take the head coaching job at UNLV. So, like, what is Petrino going to do a similar thing to that? I think it's, again, I think it's really, really way too early to tell. You are correct that the whole carousel is waiting on Lane's decision, and everything's going to start to kind of happen after that is made. But Petrino, I wouldn't complain about.
No, for sure. I would love to go get a guy like him, but and then there's probably some other names out there, some that are unknown to me, unknown to the fan base, and then maybe some other. But I just think he's a guy that he has clearly done it in all levels of college football. He just has a proven track record, and just fuck it. Just like, it's like, hey, dude, you just want to come make $2 million and be an offense coordinator, have no pressure of a head coach, like, just call some good plays with who a lot of people were thinking was the best quarterback in the country going into this year, and I would think that he would have the same hype going into next year if he comes back to school. Like, he should be a first-round pick next year, depending on his development. But let's get to DB Blitz recap real quick. I think we both went 3-2. The real heartbreakers, and again, the DB Blitz is always sponsored by Hughley Insurance, Austin and Greer, Home and Auto. They're synonymous. Austin, Greer, Home, Auto. Go over to Hughley Insurance to get you a quote on some home and auto insurance. 3-2 for both of us, so I didn't really make, obviously, any moves in the standings, and we're still both pretty below 500. I don't want to harp on this much, but, like, I just wish Kirby would have the killer fucking instinct. Like, it's insane. They were up 35-3 with 11 minutes left in the third quarter, and the score ended 35-3. Like, that's insane from Georgia versus Charlotte. Like, he is for whatever reason, he is the only guy that doesn't score against these shitty teams. So, I thought he was going to break the streak, but he is officially now 0-16-1 as a 38 or more point favorite. But yeah, Georgia Tech, one of the most excruciating games. Like, they went out, I mean, down 21-0 in the first quarter. Like, Haynes King, bye-bye Heisman, bye-bye ACC, fuck Georgia Tech forever. Fuck that whole program. Like, fuck Haynes King. Like, I literally bet them to win.
They win the ACC, they make the playoff.
They're not going to get to the ACC championship now, so fuck them. But they could get into the playoff if they won the ACC, and I would be happy if they could. But no, we'll get. Don't worry, Thomas. We'll get Vanderbilt in. And that'll be fun. That'll be fun to watch Vanderbilt play.
Vandy won't get in.
But it'd be fun. They would deserve to get in.
If they beat Tennessee, they would deserve it.
Oh, they would?
Yeah.
Yeah, they deserve to get in by beating Tennessee. Who did Tennessee beat? Who did Tennessee beat?
Any SEC team.
Wait, why is Tennessee ranked? Remind me why Tennessee's ranked.
I think that any SEC team that goes 10-2 deserves to make the playoff.
Well, that's just, I mean, in some years that's true, in some years it's not. This year it is not.
And
Just as you say, in some years Group of 5 will be ranked in the top 12. Group of 5 won't be ranked in the top 12.
let me rephrase that. I think that any SEC team that goes 10-2 deserves to be in the playoff more than any Group of 5 school.
Yeah. Well, I just don't believe that because I don't think Vanderbilt deserves to be in the playoff if they're 10-2. But Tennessee sucks. Tennessee's, again, you always bring up wins. Tennessee beaten no one. Vanderbilt beaten no one. So now we're going to have Tennessee and Vanderbilt.
I just don't understand how you're able to acknowledge that Tennessee and Vanderbilt haven't beat anyone, but you can't acknowledge that Group of 5 schools haven't beaten anyone either.
No, I acknowledge that.
Where is the cognitive why is the cognitive dissonance happening?
I'm just saying it's the same thing, except the Group of 5 school is 11-1, not 10-2. It's not comparable record.
That one less loss against nobody really makes them a better team.
I mean, dude, that's the thing is, like, that's where you're. I just want to go to a system where there's not subjective
bullshit. This, Beck? We're 4-7. We're 4-7.
Okay.
We're having a bad year. We just beat Coastal 51-7. And that's the type of team that James Madison plays every week. So you saying that Vanderbilt and Missouri and Tennessee haven't beat anybody, these nobodies that they've beat would beat James Madison's schedule by 50 fucking points. Dummy.
And yet we've expanded the playoff to include the Group of 5. So we're
wrong.
So we're still. But the thing is, here's the thing, Thomas, and that's fine that you want 10-2 Vanderbilt to get in.
I don't want them to get in, but if
you're
you're asking me a question, do I think 10-2 Vanderbilt should get in instead of James Madison, then the answer to that question is yes. I don't care if Vanderbilt gets in. I don't care if Tennessee gets in. I don't care if Oklahoma gets in. I hate every team other than South Carolina. But I can use my objective logic and say that an SEC team that is 10-2 has a better resume than a Group of 5 school that's 11-1.
No, but I don't want
that Power 4 team.
I don't want that shitty ass SEC team to get in.
I don't want them either.
And so when we talk about the reform of college football, I'm going to have a reform where it's built on all right, we're going to stop there because I'm just going to go on a tangent and we're going to ramble. But basically, I don't give, dude. Vanderbilt is going to get fucking dog walked by whoever the fuck they play. Hopefully it's Notre Dame. Hopefully it's Notre Dame, and I hope Notre Dame beats the fuck out of Vanderbilt. Because I don't think Notre Dame deserves to get in either. But they're going to get in off their helmet. And so we're going to have a team that doesn't deserve to get in versus a team that doesn't deserve to get in. And it's going to be a shitty game, and there's going to be a blowout, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God. Like, and it's just like, dude, just fucking, I would like to see a Cinderella get in there and fucking chop it up. And if they lose, who cares? Just fucking be better in your conference. Just be better. Just like, don't be the 5th best team in your conference.
I went 3-2. I also lost on Georgia Tech. James Madison beat Washington State, did not cover. I think I've found something with these unders.
He skated to over-unders just to get wins. I mean, Ross, this should be illegal. I should have outlawed this. Like,
what do you mean? We can't play totals? Why can't we play totals?
I think he started picking totals to skate the difficulty of picking sides.
There weren't a lot of great games this week.
Well, you still got to pick sides.
when have we ever said that we are only playing sides and we don't play
I
totals?
think we should just play sides, Ross, going forward. Let's
All
stop
right.
Thomas getting this little cop out
I
action.
found I found something with these unders though. This wasn't a DB Blitz pick, but I hit the under in the FSU Louisville game Friday night. I'm gonna finish today 4-1 on NFL unders, but unders, they don't get the credit they deserve. Everyone loves to bet an over, everyone loves to root for points, but having an under that is just on pace the whole game is such a satisfying feeling. I did have to sweat Georgia Charlotte because, like Beck said, Georgia had scored a lot of points.
Herbie's a dummy.
It
Punt in the second half.
It was
That was
sweaty.
The
It was sweaty in the first half, but once they put in the backup, I knew that Charlotte wasn't going to score on them, so I felt good about that. But yep, prevented Beck from overtaking me. Still not back to 500, so I apologize to the listeners that are tailing. We continue to be over when we're on the same side of the same game. So once again, Ross, if we send in picks and we're on the same side, I want to switch that one out because if me and Beck like the same side of the same game, it is a guaranteed loss.
Yeah, I'm close. I'm close. Both 3-2 this week, so I don't have to go through mine, but I already kind of did. But the last thing we want to close on is Court Cocks Chatter, presented by Cajun Cousins. Cajun Cousins, family over everything. These guys are bringing Louisiana styles and flavors to the Carolinas. Hit these guys up for any event you have. They can do jambalaya, crawfish boil, the whole nine. These guys are awesome. Also go over to their website if you want some merch or you want some pepper sauce. I'm putting my pepper sauce on everything. Eggs, rice, everything. Cajun Cousins, these guys know how to do it. Again, bringing Louisiana styles and flavors to South Carolina. And we sucked this weekend, man. I watched the Butler game. That shit was awful. Like, we got out-rebounded by 25. We had no business losing that game. We couldn't hit a three. I didn't watch the Northwestern game, but we lost by 2 points tonight to Northwestern. So this was two opportunities where we had neutral court and games against formidable opponents where it's going to come back to play in March, and we didn't get the job done. So I don't know where we go. We're 4-2. Obviously, the season's young, so this isn't like a death note on the season, but very frustrating the way we played specifically against Butler, because I watched that game and they had 25, 30 second chance points, and I know this team's gonna live and die by the three, and we couldn't hit threes against Butler, and we ended up losing. We lost today to Northwestern. I didn't get the chance to watch the game because I was preoccupied, but I hate that we lost to Northwestern, and I hate that we lost to Butler, because these were two opportunities where we really had a chance to not even bolster our resume. Not that these are world-beating teams, but just two wins that you can put on your resume in November, and it looks nice. It's like, when it's a win, it looks nice in March. When it's a loss, it's like, whatever. So where we go from here, we got to learn from it. We got Virginia Tech coming up in the ACC SEC Challenge. Obviously, we got Clemson in the middle of December. So, sprinkled in with some, FCS non-power four, whatever games you want to say. So there's 4 games on our schedule that we should win. And then we have Virginia Tech and Clemson. And, after losing 2 here at the Greenbrier against Northwestern and Butler, we sure as hell better beat Virginia Tech and Clemson. And I think going into conference play with 2 losses, you just gotta go 500 in the SEC. So I'm still loving Gamecock basketball. This team is fun to watch. Eli Ellis, Michi, Kobe Knox. Sorry, Kobe Knox. But Slushy Mike 2.0. We're still a viable team, and I think the fans out there need to support this team. So I just want to go into SEC play at the best we can, and then SEC play is going to take care of itself. You know, in basketball, you kind of live and die by the strength of your conference, and the SEC is one of the stronger conferences. So even if you're a mid-tier team, which I think we're picked to be in the bottom tier, but if you can rise to the mid-tier and just be the 6th or 7th best team in the SEC, you're going to find yourself in the NCAA tournament dancing in March Madness. We all know what happened when we were a 10 seed in 2017. So just get in the dance, and hopefully we don't play Jermaine Couisnard in the dance. So that sucked this weekend at the Greenbrier, losing 2, but we just got to rebound. Thoughts, Thomas?
I was able to watch some of the Butler game, not all. Pretty disappointed in our rebounding. They really dominated the boards in that game. I didn't watch the Northwestern game. We have a really tough conference schedule, but you know that means that we have a lot of opportunity to improve our net with some quality wins. So hopefully we clean it up on you know the rebounding and we get hot a couple times, because that's all it takes with an offense like ours.
100%. Like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We have a special guest coming on Wednesday. It's rivalry week. We dove into Clemson, and then we got, I guess, sidetracked a little bit. But it's all about Clemson this week. We're gonna be telling a lot of our own personal stories about the rivalry. We're gonna be hearing from a special guest about his thoughts on the rivalry, and so we're really excited to bring you that episode on Wednesday. And like I said, it's rivalry week, so this is going to be a fun week, and the season pretty much hinges on what happens on Saturday at noon. So we're going to get you tuned in, jammed up. I don't even know what I'm saying, but we're going to be getting you ready for the game on Saturday. So tune in Wednesday, special interview. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And this is going to wrap this episode of the Touchdowns Podcast. As always, go Cox.
Go Cox.